Think about retirement, you're in luck. Today is my top 10 tips. 10 tips for retirement. So I always joke that I've retired more people than most people I've met, and it's probably a true statement. So I've learned a lot through the years about retirement, preparing, living it, and so on. So here are my top 10 tips that I like to talk about and give people. First, you'll know when you're ready. Most people think there's an age and they say, oh, 60 is when I retire, 62 or 65. The reality is, like any big stage or transition in your life, your body, your mind, your soul all tells you when you're ready. I know when I was ready to get married. I knew when I was ready to have a child. Whether someone forced me or not, you wouldn't and I wouldn't be ready. And I see that with many others. And same goes for retirement. Your body will tell you when you're ready. 2, just because you're mentally ready doesn't mean you're financially ready. So this is where someone like us comes into play, but you really should make sure that your finances are in order. Most people are used to just getting a paycheck, saving something, putting in their 401k and living off the rest. And haven't really thought through the fact that that's going to change once you retire. You're going to take that nest egg and have to turn it into income. That's a big and heavy process. And without really understanding your cost and your lifestyle and your ability to meet it, you could fall short. And it's hard to turn that spigot back on. 3, give retirement a test drive. This is a big one. Preparing for retirement is a big decision. And in doing so, there are a lot of unknowns. So why don't you take some of those unknowns out by while you're approaching retirement, go rent a boat or stay in an area you think you want to maybe move to. And maybe you will, maybe you won't, maybe you'll want to rent there. But instead of making costly financial mistakes or mishaps in retirement and go in one direction and having to do an about face, do it while you're working so that when you're retired, not only will you be prepared, but you'll be living and optimizing your ideal retirement life. Next, retire to something, not from something. Retirement isn't something to run from, it's something to run to. So oftentimes I see people, I'm just done working, I hate this job, and they go retire. And then they realize they're bored or they weren't ready. They thought they were because they weren't happy in their current work situation. So make sure that you find that passion that you're going towards and you know what you're retiring to versus from. Next, take care of the big expenses now. So this is a big one. So big expenses such as redoing a powder room or a kitchen, we may have budgeted for. Sometimes these budgets go way over what we prep. And so I'm a big fan of making sure that we are getting rid of the foreseen big expenses today so that they don't drag on in the future. And when you're retired and you don't have working capital to pay for them, if they do get unwieldy, well, take care of it now. So I like to do that. Not that you can prepare for every big thing, but those that are imminent or upcoming, take care of it now before you retire. Next, do an investment audit. Obviously, we can help with this, but make sure your investments are ready. Remember, you most likely have known one way of investing your whole life, how to get the highest risk-adjusted rate of return for your investments. Come retirement, we're flipping this whole thing on its head. It's not just about that. It's about how do we safeguard these assets? How do we provide the income from these assets and not outlive them? It's a heavy duty thing, something I know we specialize in, but make sure you're really doing an audit, consolidated investments, making sure we're not competing against investments, and we have a program and a process for meeting your income needs. Next, is understand how Social Security and Medicare will factor in. These are big programs that most people know something about, but they're a bit unknown to a lot of people. There's strategies, there's income limits, there's all sorts of things that go into them, when to collect, how to collect. Make sure that you are doing your best to understand these expenses and incomes for retirement. Next, think through the unforeseen expenses. So most of us just think expenses through our ins and outs, our daily flow. Moving forward, I really want you to focus on the unforeseen ones, such as medical expense. That's the big one that comes to most people's mind. So make sure that you're taking a moment to think through, do you have enough stashed away? Because it's hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical expenses to plan in retirement. And it's not just your monthly $4, $5, $10, $20,000 a month to live. Next, go out and try. We talked about the retirement dating, but also go out and try retirement. I'm a big fan of, especially the year or two leading up to retirement, making sure that you're in a position that you've tested out financially. So you've really understood your expenses. You really understood your incomes. You really understood that you can live within this band. It's important to really get a full grasp and understanding on all these things so that when you retire, we know we've done essentially proof of concept. And that's critical for most people. Finally, follow your passion. Retirement is a great time in people's lives. Some of the statistically happiest times in an individual's life. You get time to travel, to spend time with your spouse, your family, your passions, your enjoyments in life, and it's really a time to be thankful and grateful. Whether it's a short retirement or a long retirement. But I can tell you this, much like everyone told me when I had kids, it happens quickly. And carpe diem, seize the day, and really make sure that you are doing and living your best life in retirement. I can't stress that enough. You don't want to sit here and regret it in 5, 10, 15 years from now. Anyways, that's it. Andrew Rosen here. Hope you enjoyed it, and give a read if you want some more detail. As always, stay wealthy, stay healthy, stay happy. Take care.